Hey everybody, this is Kevin Davidson, your host for Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective, and this is episode number 59. Got some exciting guests on the podcast today. I always start off on podcasts by saying that if you are a real estate agent or a vendor that operates in the Fort Bend County area and you want to be on the podcast, give me a call, 832-654-0527, or email me at kevin.davidson@stewart.com, and we'll see about getting you on the calendar. Also, I always want to thank my support team for whom this podcast would not be possible. So Jennifer Smitis, the area president, Caitlin Kornick and Devin, the escrow officers here in the Sugar Land office, and then Wendy Santana, the escrow officer in the Richmond office. Our support team, the assistants, funders, everybody. I can't name them all. We'll be here all day. But thank them because if it wasn't for them, this podcast would not be possible. So let's get started with episode number 59, Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective. Some of you guys might know this young lady that's sitting next to me. This is Susie Ortiz. She is a real estate agent that is recently gone full-time with her real estate career.
Correct.
But has a very interesting backstory of how she got into real estate. So say hi, everybody. Susie.
Hi, my name is Susie Ortiz, and I work in the area of Fort Bend County, but I do real estate all over Texas. Correct. I started working through the state and then for the school district for 23 years. But throughout that time, I do have my associate's degree, and while I was having my associate's degree, I took a property management course as an elective, and I really
take property management courses in college?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, did not know that.
And so that was my course that really sparked up my love for real estate. It was an actual realtor who was the teacher, the instructor, and loved her, and it just, I don't know, it just sparked up something in me, and I thought, maybe I want to go that route. But I still went, to work, and I worked, like I said, for 23 years for the school district. But during that time, I did go for my license, and loved it ever since.
Did you go to class or something in the evening and the weekends?
Actually, I started out with the evening classes. I am married and I have 2 girls. And so as a mom, it was pretty hard to go to work full time and then go to courses in the evening. And I looked into to see if there's any other way to take these courses. And there were actually, at that moment, I don't know if they still have them, but they had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday courses. And
Who goes to class on a Sunday?
I know. I gave up my Sunday, and that was a sacrifice. And but I did it. I did it for, I want to say, close to a year. Every weekend I gave up my weekends, and I sacrificed, and I took the courses, and I took my exam, and here I am. So I have well over 20 years under my belt in real estate. I did do it while I was working full-time, and a lot of people would ask me, are you doing this part-time? And I would answer them, I don't consider it part-time because I'm always talking real estate. I'm always reading on real estate, and I'm assisting people in real estate. And so I felt like I was not doing it part-time. I felt like I was doing it full-time and still doing my full-time job. And last summer, I retired from the state, total of 33 years, and now I am doing it full-time. But like I said, I always considered myself as a full-time realtor. And so I want to dip into a lot more. I do have a lot of experience under my belt regarding estates, divorcees, and I've always said that I tell my clients, ask me questions, and if I don't know the answer, I will find out, because not only are you going to find out, but I am too.
Everybody
and I'm
learns.
going to, everybody learns. And so I feel like I don't allow for that to bring me down, but allow it to give me challenges and to learn more about real estate. So
now that you've gone full time, what type of transaction is your favorite? Do you like to work with buyers, sellers, renters, investors? All of them?
I do love to work with all of them. I just feel like every one of them is going to give me an experience, because I always said that every transaction I've had, I learned something from it. No one transaction is the same.
Well, of course not.
But I do love to work with sellers. And the majority of my clients are sellers. I do love to help buyers, especially when they're first-time home buyers. It is exciting to see the transaction of how exciting it is for them to see homes and then to finally, have their dream come true. But I do love. I have so much experience in allowing. For sellers to be able to bring in as much as possible for their home and to prepare them for what they should do to make it more attractive. And so that is also an exciting, thing to do. And I do love it. I love working with sellers. A lot of people say the listings are a lot easier than buyers. The only difference to me is that you are taking more time to show homes, but the transactions are similar.
Right.
But I do enjoy working with sellers.
So when someone contacts you and says, "Hey, I'm interested in selling my house," how do you approach that first initial conversation? How do you make that person feel comfortable enough to go ahead and move forward with working with Susie?
Well, I first of all tell them the experience I've had. I also like to give them scenarios of the different things that can happen, simply because I like to prepare them so that they can better understand why I am giving the advice that I'm giving, And so a lot of times they come in and thinking and thinking they know exactly what to do.
Right.
And so I have to sit down with them and explain to them the process and then the scenarios that can happen. And you still have some, clients that feel like, well, I want to do it this way. And sometimes I have to allow that to play out so they can realize, okay, she was right. She was correct. I should have maybe listened to what she said. But I feel like a lot of time I want people to understand that we went to school to learn about real estate. So we know what's best for them. And the fact that I have over 20 years of experience, I've gone through several transactions.
You've been there,
so
done
I've
that.
been there, done that. And I want them to feel confident and comfortable to come to me, to know that I'm going to give them the best advice that I can give them. And
do you provide, I'm sure you do, comparative market analysis?
Yes.
So tell everybody what that is.
What that is you go in, and we have a process through HAR, Houston Association of Realtors, and then I use another program that does the same thing, where you grab homes that have sold in the last 6 months. It's similar to what an appraiser, an actual licensed appraiser, does. So our system works around the same. An appraiser, of course, is going to go a little bit more detailed and has more access to for sale by owner properties. And so we grab something that is similar to your home, and then we compare to see what they sold it for within the last 6 months. And once we have that, we can figure out how much your house is worth. But I always tell them market price, but I always give them a range. Because I always tell them, I'm going to give you a range, but then I need to go to your home and need to see what you have inside your home, your updates, because that range is going to be, configured depending on what updates you have.
Right. So if you have a house that was built in 1978 like mine, but it's been updated and remodeled like mine, you're going to price it at the higher end.
At the higher
than
end.
the lower end.
Correct.
What do you tell somebody that says, that's great, thank you for the CMA, but I want to sell my house for $250,000 when it's only worth $220,000? What do you tell people?
I give them the scenarios, the options of what could happen. I always tell them, if you got a buyer who's going to be lender approved, there's going to be an appraisal done.
Yeah.
And that report is going to give them the true cost of your home, the true value of your home. So regardless of how much you want,
right,
that
at the same time, because of that scenario, it also will it'll reduce the number of possible buyers, because if someone's trying to buy it either 100% loan or at least 20% down, and the appraisal comes in at 220 and you want 250, that buyer's got to come up with the other extra 30. And in today's world, a lot of people don't have the extra 30, so now you just lost a client.
Exactly. And that's what we don't want. And that's why I wish that the sellers would understand that scenario, how that plays out. Because a lot of times what happens, if you are very determined that you want more, then the property sits and sits and sits.
Yep.
And then prospects out there start thinking, well, wonder what's wrong with that house.
Right, exactly.
It's not selling. Something must be really wrong with your home.
Yeah.
And so we want to avoid that.
Perception overtakes the listing,
Absolutely.
and now it's going to sit even longer.
Exactly.
So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about some marketing. So you got a lot of experience, but you haven't been a full-time agent up until recently. So what is it that you've done so far to attract clients and promote your business?
Well, I have a Facebook page, but it is a personal Facebook page. And so I do plan to create a business webpage for Facebook.
Yeah, we're supposed to put a meeting on the calendar, aren't we?
Yes, on
or
the
did we do that?
24th.
There you go.
Yes,
okay, so
I
we'll
have
do
it on
that.
my calendar. And of course, that's why I'm here, because this is actually one of my first marketing tool of using a video. So I am very thankful for this opportunity, Kevin. And
no problem. You'll be on the podcast again.
Yes, and I look forward to my second. And so, yes, I as soon as I retired, that was my plan. I thought, I really need to get myself out there. I have been, all this time, most of my clients have been word of mouth. They come to me because they know me.
A lot of agents' clients are word of mouth. And if you do a good job with your clients, word spreads.
Yes.
And word of mouth is, there's nothing wrong with it. But there are so many other ways that you can market your business to
Correct.
grow it exponentially.
Yes.
To where you might call me one day and go, Kevin, that worked. I need an assistant.
Yes.
So, which is a good thing.
Yes. And that is exactly why I'm here, and that's exactly why you and I are going to have a meeting on the 24th, because I do want to I want to go to that level. I want to expand my business. And I'm very thankful for all the clients that have come to me with word of mouth, and the people that worked with me. And I still am in communication with them. But you're right. It's only that small portion of clients that I'm dealing with that I know that I can have a lot more if I expand my marketing.
And some agents are very happy with that word of mouth and small. That's all they want. But there's a lot more agents out there like yourself. They're like, I want more. I want to help more people.
Yes.
What are some of the marketing things that you want to do in the future that you're not doing now that you're going to learn by meeting with me?
The digital, the video. I want to get comfortable in front of a camera, and I want to be able to help more the community. One of the things that I've been told is that, Susie, you have so many tips, so many wonderful information that people need to know. And that's one of the things that when I did go into this business, I remember when my father was still alive, he said, "Why do you like real estate?" And I said, "I want to be able to help people." My father went through some purchases, some transactions. After I reviewed them, I noticed that one of them was actually, he got scammed. And I thought to myself, I don't want this to occur. One of the things I want to be able to do is I want to educate people in the scenarios that can happen to them, they can fall into it. And I do work closely with this pastor who owns his own insurance agency. And he comes across a lot of people that go to him because he's very helpful to the community. And he asked me, he goes, "Can I use you as my go-to person for real estate for my clients, for my the people that come to me?" And I said, "Absolutely, absolutely." Well, I'm not kidding you. I probably get a call 3 times a month from people that he sends me, and I have been able to save about 3 people from being scammed.
There you go.
And so that's really what's all about. The purpose, yes, to make money. Everybody needs a job, but also to help, to assist people in the community. And I want to be that go-to person in your family that you can say, "You know what? I have a realtor who's somebody I can count on, someone I can trust, someone who's honest," and that's who I want to be for you.
So, you speak Spanish, correct?
Correct.
So why don't you tell everybody how much you want to help them in Spanish?
Okay. Hola, me llamo Susie Ortiz. Trabajo con First Texas Realty y trabajo en la área de Fort Bend County, en el condado de Fort Bend. Y estoy aquí para asistir a la gente sobre bienes raíces, para que puedan ustedes confiar con alguien que de veras va a estar allí para ustedes, para la raza. Y quiero que puedan llamarme en cualquier momento, cualquier pregunta que tengan, al 281-222-0367. O pueden mandarme correo electrónico a susie4homes@yahoo.com. Estoy disponible para servirle.
Awesome. And can you not only help people with resale, can you also help people that are looking for a new home, a new construction home?
Absolutely. I have represented many buyers under their new home, or actually people that I've sold their homes, and then they come back to me to buy their new home. And new construction is also something that I do represent many times. A lot of people think, why would I need a realtor for a new construction? But it is important, just as it's important to also do inspections on a new home. Because
people ask me all the time, why do I got to do that? It's a brand new house.
It is important. You would be surprised how many times things get missed in a brand new home. And the other thing is that many times they might not be able to give you a detailed process of what you're doing. You feel nervous and you just kind of trust what they've given you, and you just sign. And
it's because you're so excited about fixing
yes,
this house.
And it's absolutely great. But at the same time, I've seen some where they've been there for a while, and then they see things change in their mortgage, and they don't understand. So then I go back and I look, and I explain to them what happened, and that's what I want for people to avoid. You should be able to go into a transaction knowing exactly what's going to happen in the future, or what to expect if there is a change in your mortgage. And so I like to be that representative that's going to give you a little bit more detailed of your process of purchasing that new home.
Well, that's important too, because I've heard horror stories where people have bought brand new homes, construction homes, without a real estate agent, and then the next year that they're in there, their mortgage almost doubles because they just realized that they were never charged taxes on the first year.
Correct.
And that's something that a real estate agent will catch.
Absolutely.
So they went from a $1,500 a month mortgage. Now they got to pay $2,800 because of taxes.
That is exactly.
And they can't afford
That's
that.
exactly the scenario that has happened many, many times, and it's because when a builder, when you have a new subdivision, they just paying taxes on the land. And that taxes after the house has been built is not going to go into effect until after a year, after you pass January, and then it starts going into effect. So a lot of times, correct, you have a particular payment, but what's not explained. And now I do have some builders that do explain it, which I am very thankful for. But it's important for them to understand that once they've been there a year, those taxes are going to take effect.
Yeah,
and
Uncle
it's
Sam
going to
will. They'll send you a bill.
Exactly. So yes, you're correct.
Awesome. Well, I've heard that so many times, and then, the excitement of buying a house in general, but buying a brand new one that no one's ever lived in is just, it gets you so pumped up, and you just forget things. And so that's what a realtor is for. So yes, you need a realtor even if you buy a brand new house.
Yes.
And at the same time, realtors can, there are incentives and things that a realtor can discuss or negotiate with the new home builder that may or may not help you get into the property. So things that you don't know are available, or maybe that the builder doesn't just offer up. I mean,
Correct.
why would someone want to give you money when you don't ask for it?
Correct.
So that's another reason why you need a real estate agent with a new construction purchase.
Right.
And she's correct. Even though it's brand new, you still need to get it inspected.
Absolutely.
So, why don't you tell everybody tell everybody one thing about Susie Ortiz that they would be expecting when they contact you.
Well, I don't want you to look at me just as a realtor. I want you to look at me as a friend, someone who is going to be there for you in your real estate business, in your real estate transactions, in your real estate, whatever comes, because I believe everybody in some form or fashion through their life, they will deal with real estate. It's either you yourself, your parents' home, your aunt, somebody passes, and you don't know what to do, and you're going to find yourself that you need someone who has that experience. So I want you to look at me not as sort of like people have maybe their family attorney. I want you to see me as your family realtor. I want you to feel comfortable enough to say, you know what, I think that we should ask Susie, and not feel like, oh, if I call her, I'm going to be obligated to use her or to pay her for her services. No, I want you to come comfortably to me, because I hope that one day that when you do need that realtor, that you will think of me.
I tell agents all the time, 85 to 90% of the people that you meet in your real estate career don't need your services the day you meet them. They need it later. So tell everybody you're on Facebook.
Yes.
Do you have a website?
I do, through HAR.
Okay. So she's on Houston Association of Realtors. Give everybody your phone number and your email address.
My phone number is 281-222-0367. And my email is Susie, SUSIE, 4, homes with an S, HOMES, @yahoo.com.
And remember, everybody, she's fluent in Spanish.
Sí.
So you want to say something as we wrap this up?
No se olviden que yo estoy aquí para servirles. Susie Ortiz, llamen 281-222-0367.
Awesome. Give them your phone number one more time in English.
281-222-0367. And don't hesitate to text or call. I'll be there to help you.
Your broker is?
Sam Orlando, First Texas Realty in Rosenberg.
Awesome. So, guys, this is Susie Ortiz. You need a
Yes.
real estate agent, whether you speak English or Spanish, whether you want to buy, sell, lease, or invest. She can help you. Resale, new construction, doesn't matter. She wants to be your realtor. So give her a call. What's the phone number one more time?
281-222-0367.
Awesome. Thanks again for being on the podcast.
It was a pleasure.
And we'll have you again.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with segment number 2 of episode number 59 of Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective. Bye-bye.
Bye.